Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Going for Two. I am Q1 Humphreys. We are officially 7 days away from the start of the 2025-2026 NBA regular season. And to celebrate that, I wanted to hop on here and rank my top 10 players in the NBA. Now, before we talk about it, this is my list. This is my list. There are going to be some guys that's on my list that's not on yours. There's going to be some guys on your list that's not on mine. But the way that I am ranking these players is mainly based off of how they finished last season, combined with my predictions and my projections for how good they're going to be this year as well. So, yeah, let's get into it. Before I read off my honorable mentions, hit the subscribe button, bro. Hit the subscribe button. We're currently at 226 subs. The goal is to be at 1,000 subs this time next year. And I cannot reach my goal. I cannot do that without you guys' help. So do me a favor, hit the red subscribe button, press the like button, share with your folks, leave a comment, do all that jazz. Do it for me. Let's get into these honorable mentions. So honorable mentions, these are guys that easily could have been in the top 10 for me, but I just had the guys in the top 10 just over them. And it could have been just a slight thing. You know what I'm saying? Different factors could have affected my rankings with them not being in the top 10. But you'll see that when I name my honorable mentions. First one, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, still one of the best players in the NBA. Still one of the best defenders in the NBA. And offensively, he's really, really dominant. I think he's one of those players that I think a lot of guys kind of have him in that lower top 10, early teens range. Because, you know, he's still AD, but of course he deals with injuries. Last year with the Dallas Mavericks, he missed majority of his tenure ever since he got traded to them. And, you know, that really derailed not just his season, but the Mavs season as well. But I definitely think he's going to come back and be a dog this year. I have very high hopes in the Dallas Mavericks. That as you would know if you had watched my previous Dallas Mavericks video. But I got AD like right around the top 10. Not in the top 10, but he's like right knocking on the door to the top 10. My second honorable mention is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, same thing as AD, except, you know, KD, I don't remember, unless I remember correctly, he didn't really have a real injury. His team was just losing games. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? He did. At the beginning of the year, he got hurt, rolled his ankle, missed a couple of weeks. But KD's KD. He's a guy he's a walking 27 points on really good efficiency. But I just don't think he's better than the guys that I have in my top 10. I think the league is just so talented now to where you have guys like Anthony Davis, like Kevin Durant, not in the top 10. That's how good the players in the league are. But KD can easily hop back in the top 10 based on his play moving forward. The next guy, I have Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, to me, is easily a top 10 talent in the NBA. But his injuries, him being in and out of the lineup, him being on load management, makes it really, really tough for him to rank him above the guys I got in the top 10 because those guys are playing in the playoffs. They're playing in the regular season. You know, if Kawhi Leonard was healthy and played a lot, he would easily be top 10, pushing maybe top 5. We saw him dominate the Denver Nuggets in, I want to say it was game 3 or game 4 of their playoff series, finishing with one of the most efficient 30 balls in playoff history. So Kawhi Leonard, if he's on the floor, he's really, really good, but he don't make the top 10 in my rankings. And my last guy is Joel Embiid. He played 19 games last year, y'all. He played 19 games last year, but Joel Embiid, similar to Kawhi Leonard, if he's healthy, Joel Embiid's top 5 to me. Pushing top 4, maybe even top 3. He doesn't drop no lower than top 4 on my list if Joel Embiid is healthy. But with him only playing 19 games last year, not knowing how he's going to look this year, I saw him in the training camp, the little scrimmage the Sixers ran. He looked really good. He looked really mobile. Hopefully he's back healthy, and then, you know, maybe I'll drop another list mid-season. But right now he is not in my top 10. So that's it. Those are the 4 guys that I was debating with putting them in the top 10, but they did not make the cut. Let's dive into the top 10 now. Number 10, let's start fast. Number 10, I got the stats right here too, because I don't know. I'm not a computer. Number 10, we got Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama finished the year last year, 24.3 points per game, 11 rebounds a game, and 3.7 assists per game. He shot 47.6 from the field, 35.2% from 3, and finished with 3.8 blocks and 1.1 steal per game. Victor Wembanyama, to me, has got to be in the top 10. Because with him being 7'4", he's already the most polarizing figure, as in literal figure, in the NBA. With him being 7'4", he's already the most feared defender in the NBA. When I say most feared, I mean as in when you're on offense, when you're running a set, when you're coming off a pick, when you're rolling as a screen setter, you're thinking in your head, where's Wemby? Where's Wemby at? Because if you're not paying attention, you could easily end up with a broken nose when that basketball gets swatted by Wemby back to your face. Defensively, like the defense player of the year award, it should go to Wemby every single year. I think it's going to be synonymous with Wembanyama. He finished with 3.8 blocks a game. I think he missed the whole second half of the season and still was head and shoulders above everyone else in blocks. Insane. But on the offensive end as well, averaging 24 points per game. This guy shot 35% from three. 7'4", shooting 35% from three. You would think it's just catch and shoots, right? No. This guy's coming off screen, shooting one-legged three-point shots. He's sizing up a defender, pulling threes. There was, during November and December, I want to say it was the November and December months, he was shooting 37% from three-point line. 7'4", can dunk without jumping, shooting 37% from three. And he was averaging, like, I want to say close to 9 or 10 attempts a game. That is an absolute monstrosity. I think Wembanyama healthy is going to get the Spurs to like a 4, 5, 6 seed in the play in this season. I think last year, if he didn't get hurt along with De'Aaron Fox with his injury, the Spurs could have easily made the play-in game. That's how good Wembanyama was. But we're going to see. I would have had him higher on my list because I'm talking so high about him, but the guys above him are solidified. Number 9, we got Jalen Brunson. The Brunson burner. Brunson finished with 26 points per game, 2.9 rebounds per game, and 7.3 assists per game, which I believe is a career high, shooting 48.8% from the field and 38.3% from the three-point line. Jalen Brunson has gotten to the point now to where he's really unguardable. He's unguardable, and it's not just because, you know, he's great at drawing fouls, but he's really crafty little guard. 6'2", not the biggest guy in the world, not the smallest guy in the world either. But this guy gets to a bucket. And then last season as well, he really took on the PG role. He's been playing PG his whole career, but really took on the role of being a facilitator, along with him getting a Karl-Anthony Towns and a Mikal Bridges and just adding more weapons to the team around him. He was unstoppable. During the playoffs, he was unstoppable. Really up until that Pacers series. But I think Brunson's going to have another big year this year. He could easily be the best guard in the Eastern Conference. Easily. You know, he might actually be. I got to look at my list. I think I might actually have him as the best guard in the Eastern Conference. And I do. You know, Jalen Brunson, the Brunson burner. That's my number 9. Number 8. Controversy. This is going to be controversial. Number 8, I got LeBron James. LeBron James, year 23, I think. 40 years old. 41 years old. He's really old. But last year, he averaged 24.4 points per game, 7.8 rebounds per game, and 8.2 assists per game, shooting 51% from the field and 37.6% from the three-point line. LeBron James is going to be LeBron James until he's retired. I'm convinced. No, a lot of older guys, when it's time for them to go out, they kind of fall off a cliff and then they leave. No, LeBron James in his last season is going to average 24, 7, and 8, 25, 7, and 7, because that's what LeBron James is, and we're seeing him kind of change his game, adding a Luka Doncic to his team. He doesn't have to have his foot on the gas pedal the whole entire game, and we're seeing that, and I think we saw that a lot this year. The 37.6% from three, to me, was maybe his second best shooting season in terms of efficiency and on top of volume. I know he has 2 seasons shooting 40%, but those years he wasn't shooting as much threes as he did last year. So LeBron James, you're still number 8, brother. You're still really great. And I know that's probably the lowest he's going to be on a lot of people's lists. That's probably the lowest he's ever been on the top 10 list in his career. But 41 years old, 23 years, you're still number 8. That's tough. Number 7. I got Stephen Curry. 24.5 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game, shot 46.8% from the field and 39.7% from three. Stephen Curry, it speaks for himself. This man is a flamethrower. He goes crazy. Absolutely insane. You he had kind of a down year in terms of efficiency. This is a guy that usually lives in the 50, 40, 90 club. But he was really just on the outskirts of that. But it's Steph Curry, bro. He's gonna be Steph until he leaves as well. I think with the way the game is now, not as physical, Steph Curry's gonna be very effective up until he hangs his Under Armours up. I got him at number 7. He did a great job of leading that team to the playoffs. They really turned the season around once they got Jimmy Butler, and he took off as well when they got Jimmy Butler as well. Number 6, I got Ant-Man. Anthony Edwards. I got Ant-Man number 6, 27.6 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game, shooting 44% from the field. And he shot 39% from 3 while hitting 323-point shots. That number, 320 on 39%, is what stands out to me with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, every single year that he's been in the league, he's progressed in something. And last year, we saw him become, statistically, the best pull-up three-point shooter in the NBA. Now, I know he ain't no better shooter than Steph, but based on the stats, he shot, I want to say, 44% on pull-up threes during the season. Him adding that to his game had made him unstoppable, because with how explosive and how athletic he is, if he's gonna spark it from outside, you're at his mercy. Next thing I want to see him add is I want to continue to see him develop as a playmaker. He doesn't got to get 1,000 assists a game. He doesn't got to average a double-double with assists. Just make the right play. And I can say towards the end of last season, he really started to make the right play more times than not, especially in the OKC series where they lost. Number 5, I got Jason Tatum. Of course, this list is just my top 10 players. I know I said a projection going into next season, but hey, Jason Tatum's one of the best players in the NBA. He says he's going to play next season, but I don't think he will. No player has ever came back from Achilles in less than a season. He averaged 26.8 points per game, 8.7 rebounds per game, and 6.0 assists per game. I think the assist is actually a career high for him. Shot 45% from the field, 34% from 3. So he had a down year in the shooting department, but he developed more as a playmaker. Similar to how I was talking about Anthony Edwards, about how Anthony Edwards needs to get more developed when it comes to making the right play every time. That's where Jason Tatum is. Jason Tatum's getting to a point now where he's making the right play, getting the job done. He's still scoring very high rate. I think he was finished a top 10 scorer last year. He's just a really, really dog. He's a dog, one of the best two-way players in the game. I hope he gets well soon. I don't want to see him rush back, but I can't tell the man what to do. At number 4, I got the Don. I got Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic averaged 28.2 points per game, 8.2 rebounds per game, and 7.7 assists per game, shooting 45 or 44.7, some around that range from the field. Luka Doncic, to me, he's still really talented. I think Luka's one of those guys that on any given day, I think for his top 5, really, for the top 5, any given day they can be the best player in the world. Any given day. Luka especially, because Luka, he dealt with injury, he dealt with the trade, he went to a new system and all that. You let Luka play Luka ball, you gonna see something magical, bro. They don't call him Luka Magic for no reason. I'm expecting him to have another great year as he's gonna have for the rest of his career. With the LA Lakers this year, they say he lost a lot of weight, but you know how it is with the summer. Everyone loses weight in the summer, and that's what they push out. But if he can just develop, you got to be a marginal defender. You don't got to be great. Just be like how good a defender as Harden is now, and he'll be fine. He'll be perfect. But offensively, this man has no flaws. He makes all kinds of tough shots. One of the best facilitators in the game as well, and he gets to the foul line. You can't complain when it comes to Luka Doncic unless it's on the defensive end. Number 3, we got the reigning Finals MVP, scoring champ, all that. Western Conference Finals MVP. We got SGA. SGA, 3 and 2 are kind of interchangeable, but I have SGA sat at my number 3 spot. He averaged 32.7 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 6.4 assists per game, shooting 51.9, basically 52% from the field. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is unstoppable. He's unguardable. There's no way to put it. And you look at OKC, I think people don't give him enough credit for how important he is to OKC's offense. Every action runs through Shai. Everything runs through Shai. Shai is not going to be a guy that sits in the corner. Shai is a guy, you give him the ball, you let him work, and he'll make the right play. Going to find the right guy, make the tough shot. Shai Gilgeous offensively is undeniable. He might be the best offensive player in the NBA in terms of scoring and all that. Everything. He gonna have a big year this year, as you would guess. And it ain't just because of the free throws. The boy is nice. He's nice. Very, very nice. Number two, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, Giannis has a lot of drama going on off the court with his contract and the trade rumors. I did a video on that. Go check it out after you leave this one. He averaged 30.4 points per game, 11.9 rebounds per game, and 6.5 assists per game, while shooting 60.1% from the field, man. Giannis, another guy that's unstoppable. And we saw a big thing with Giannis is that he's had to pull on such a carry job for the Milwaukee Bucks last season that when we saw Point Giannis, y'all, he went on like a triple-double streak. Point Giannis was one of the most intriguing things we saw in the latter half of the NBA season last year. And with no point guard for real on the team this year, we can see it yet again. But Giannis definitely has his work cut out for him, as this roster might be the worst roster that he's been with in a long time. So we'll see what Giannis looks like this year. His numbers probably going to be even crazier this season, barring a trade. And number one, there's only one man left, the Joker, Nikola Jokic. 29.6 points per game, 11.2 rebounds per game, and 10.2 assists per game. That's his first time averaging a triple-double. He shot 56.7% from the field. And check this, y'all. 41.7% from the three-point line. Nikola Jokic shot 41.7% from the three-point line. That is insane. It's like he was already the best player in the world, and then he came out just smacking threes. What in the world was going on? A guy that did not attempt threes the year before came out last year smacking threes. I know what I said about SGA being the best offensive player is Jokic. It's Jokic, because everything this man touches is gold. He elevates his teammates, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do this season. They brought back a bunch of guys from the past, Bruce Brown, and they added in Cam Johnson, so we're going to see what he looks like as well. But Jokic is my definitive best player in the world. A lot of these guys kind of can, any given day they can be the best. I may do a tier list for NBA players later, or maybe I'm doing one of my next videos. We'll see. But I think a tier list is more relevant than a just straight ranking, because so many of these guys are on like kind of the same level, and some teams would rather take this player, some teams rather take this player. So putting them all on tier levels will probably be better than ranking them 1, 2, however many players in the NBA. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. I tried to keep this video as short as possible. When you're talking about 13, 14 players, it's really impossible. But once again, like I said, let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Who do you have in your top 10? Who did I miss? Do you think Embiid should still be top 10 even with his injuries? Let me know all that in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button. Like I said, we're trying to hit 1,000 subs by next year. Not too much from now. That would be a blessing. But by this time next year, you want to have 1,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment, share with your folks. Until next time, going for two. We out of here. Yeah.